All right, good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here at our weekly networking event. I do see a few new faces. So I'm Julie Richards, Executive Director for the Murphy Chamber of Commerce. I do want to start by thanking our sponsor for the month of March, Countryside Smiles. We appreciate your support. We do have this meeting available every week, Thursday morning, and it is open to anyone who is wanting to attend. It's not a members-only event. So if you know anyone that might benefit from a meeting where they can meet new people, promote your business, or whatever initiative that you want to get out into the community, we invite you to come and invite your friends. All right, so I will be giving a few updates on behalf of the Chamber, what's going on with us. We do have some ribbon cutting scheduled coming up. One is actually today at noon. Yes, yeah, we can celebrate. So it's going to be Pizza Twist. That's actually next to Floor Mexican restaurant, right over there near, kind of between Floor and Nothing But Cakes, if you know where that area is in Murphy. They are going to be doing the ribbon cutting today at noon. And what a great time to do it. You're going to get to taste some of their food. They've already brought something here to this event. It's delicious. So we would love to have you join us at noon for the ribbon cutting Pizza Twist today. Coming up on April 18th, we're going to have a re-grand opening celebration for the Bridgemore at Plano, formerly known as the Bridgemore at Plano. They're actually under new management, new name. They're now called Park Residences Plano. So join us April 18th. It's going to be at 4:30 at their location. They're just past Heritage and 544, so just on the edge of Plano. So we'd love to have you there. Also, one of our members, Amberlin by the Station, they're located in Saxe. They joined a little while ago, actually, but they were just under their build and getting up and going, so she just notified me that she would love to have her ribbon cutting, and that's going to be, I believe it's April 20, sorry, I have the date here, April 25th, I think. 24th or 5th at 5 p.m. I'll get that going for you, you'll see it out, but that was just booked. Want to remind you, Scholarship Foundation for the Murphy Chamber of Commerce is taking applications through April 1st. So anyone who is a senior in high school living in Murphy can apply for that scholarship. That application process closes on April 1st. I promise April 1st is the cutoff. They are very strict about it. So if you know a senior that has been thinking about it or isn't really aware, let them know. They can go right on our website, murphychamber.org, and grab that application, get it filled out. So we really appreciate all of you who have participated in some of our fundraising events to make this possible, that we can give $1,700 to 8 graduating seniors. All right, and then coming up on April 27th is our largest event of the year. Most of you know about it, but if you don't know about it, it's our large vendor event called Spring Fever. It's actually our 13th annual Spring Fever. It's going to be in Central Park again, right behind the PSA in Murphy. We've got a lot of activities lined up. We'll be having an Ninja Nation obstacle course, a game truck, an animal area for the kids. We've got all kinds of food vendors lined up and a lot of vendors signing up. So I encourage you to sign up if you're thinking about it, because at one point we will be getting full. So we've got a lot of excitement for that event going. I want to thank our title sponsor, Republic Services, for returning to support this event with us, and the many other sponsors that we have going. If you're thinking about it, we do have stage sponsorships, event sponsorships, and a few kids' activity sponsorships available. So see me after the program if you might be interested, and we can get you going on that. Today you're going to hear from a special speaker. I'm not going to introduce him, I have someone else doing that, but you're going to hear more about the successful sales process to hopefully help your business flourish and give you ideas about what you can be doing. So I'm excited to hear what we have going today. And our next, he's our speaker for our Success in Business series that we're doing this year. Something we were trying new is to bring a speaker to this program. So again, we appreciate your feedback on different changes we're making in the chamber. So feel free to email myself or Nadia just to let us know what you think about, the timing of it, the speakers, any input, anything you'd like to hear. We would love that continual feedback just to make our program stronger. All right, so what we're going to do today, a little different format. Normally in these programs, everyone comes up, they get 30 seconds to present their business. Today, we're just going to ask you to stand, say your name and your business only. We need enough time to accommodate our speaker today, just a slightly different format that we do with these business series. So I will start online first, and then I will point to a table, and you can just go in succession, the person next to you. That's what we'll do. So first today, Mako, would you go first?
Good morning, my name is Mako with Bullet Graphics Center. I'm a student of business. Looking forward to our speaker. Good morning.
Thank you. Jean.
Jean Chastain, Radical Insurance. I sell health insurance, and like Mako, I'm here for the speaker.
Great. Bob.
Basically, Bob Pearson, Fairfield, Iowa, Applied Intelligence Coaching, and I'm going to be speaking with you in May. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, it's going to be our May speaker. All right. Thanks, Bob. All right, so we will go here in the room. I'm going to start. I'll start right here. Carol Lee, would you start? Will you just stand at your seat?
I'm Carol Lee with Sew Wet, and sewing is my superpower. And like I said, if the robin runs out, you're in trouble.
Tough rat. Paul Brown with Edward Jones Financial Services. You have an education savings brochure on your table for children, grandchildren. Take a look at it. A lot of hits here.
Mark Williams, Healthy Living Solutions. I specialize in air purification products and alkaline water, ideal for keeping your body properly hydrated.
My name is Donna Jenkins with Murphy Historical Society, and we're saving Murphy history for future generations.
Rick Ronson with Expanse Marketing, giving you the marketing tools to expand your reach.
With bottom line methods, and I have money.
Hello, Elisa Lesser. I work for a company called Medi Analytics. We do healthcare analytics for health plans and hospitals. Dr. Jaspreet Gill, dentist, owner of private independent dental office for all ages, for all services.
Mary Pat Ellis from Keller Williams Realty. And please see me today. I want to tell you about this homestead exemption, so please see me.
Larry Hawkins, primary editor, provide financial services and also life insurance.
I'm Liza with the World is Wedding Travel. I'm a travel agent. You have a little flyer on your table for an upcoming trip that I'm doing.
Hi, I'm Tina. I'm a realtor. I'm helping you buy, sell, build, or invest.
From two-person romantic dinner at their home all the way up to wedding receptions.
I'm Jimmy Weddle with Farmers Insurance, and I have one question today. What color causes the most car accidents?
Red. Black.
Yellow.
Black is the number one car. It is. Black is the number one car. Watch out for him.
Watch out.
Monica with Waxing City, Wiley, marketing manager. Beth Montez with Restart Paint and Design. We do exterior painting. Give us a call.
I'm Gaya Nagarajan, a CPA. I'm here to introduce my business, which is Business and Tax Advisory. I help individual and business to do their tax, maximize their refunds, which is always on our minds, and reduce our tax liability. That's my motto. And Gaya with CPA and Sapiens is my company. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Sammy Garner with Aflac, American Family Life Assurance Company. We pay you directly your benefits when you get sick or hurt to cover your out-of-pocket expenses, and it does work. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I'm the founding lead pastor at Elevate Church. We're a local church right here in Murphy, and you have an Easter at Elevate invite on your table. We'd love to have you and your family Saturday night at 5, Sunday morning at 10, right here in Murphy. Thanks, everybody.
Good morning, everyone. I'm alive, I'm awake, and I'm feeling great because today is the day the Lord has made. Let's rejoice and be glad in it. Lloyd Dawson's Electrical Aid, your home for savings for all your essential services. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Trevor Staples. I'm the lead tech and operations manager for Lawn Pride. And all over this.
Hi, John Conwell, Community Memorial. I help people pre-plan the funeral, cremation, and cemeteries. Arrangements, you can find me on the web at johnconwell.us. Thank you.
And then, Lee, if you just want to say your name and your business. Lee, you're on mute. Sorry, you're on mute.
Lee Craig with the law offices of Lee Craig. I do both trust probate, elder law, and adult guardianship, and estate plan.
All right, thank you. All right. Oh, Bobby. You got to turn the corner, Bobby.
I'm Bobby Tillman, I take pictures. I have a special lab.
Nobody puts Bobby in a corner.
You already did. And I'm Nadia Teich, I'm your accountability wellness coach. And in the chamber, I'm wearing the hat of the program's director. And today I'm so excited, we have our Success Series. And Success Series is a collection of training sessions featuring expert speakers from various fields. We share practical tools and techniques to help our businesses sharpen our focus and achieve success. So usually we are on the third Thursday, unless there is an event like in April, we're not going to have one. But today, I am so excited to present you all Stu Schlackman. Did I say the last name correctly? Yeah. Okay. And I met actually Stu at the National Speakers Association. And Stu is relationship selling expert. After more than 20 years in corporate sales, Stu formed his own sales training firm to focus more directly on helping his clients achieve superior sales results. Stu created the 4 People You Should Know personality assessment, if I hear anything, that is used in his online sales course, Personality-Centric Selling, to help companies build high-performance teams and increase sales by understanding how using personality styles is the key to success in building long-term in client relationships. Stu has authored 6 books on sales. Don't just stand there. Sell something. 4 People You Should Know, The Relationship Selling Secret, Leverage Your Strengths, The 180 Rule for the Art of Connecting, and Sales Sagas. Each one shares important tips and tools to help you complete and win in business and life. Schlackman holds a, Stu, I have to say the names of the universities, a mechanical engineering degree from
Rensselaer.
Thank you very much. And a Master of Business Administration from Kennedy Western University. My second language sometimes when I see the name. Thank you. In 2013, Stu received the Certified Speaking Professional Award from the National Speakers Association, the highest performance-based designation. So please help me welcome Stu to speak about the successful sales process. Six books.
Just change that to RPI, Sue. Yeah, that's it.
There we go. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Nadia. Thank you for inviting me, Julie, for setting up. And also, if you know Elizabeth McCormick, she is a resident here in Murphy, and she is our president of the National Speakers Association this year and also last year. So it's great to have Nadia on our team. It's a lot of fun. Today what I want to do is talk about 2 aspects of sale. The first part is the psychology of selling, and then I want to get into some practical skills that you could use in the sales process. And it's funny, as we were talking earlier, my background is mechanical engineering. Somebody said, you know, Stu, you should be in sales. I said, sales? You don't need a brain for sales. I'm an engineer. He goes, oh, you have no idea. See, here's the thing about sales that I believe. Sales is more about likability than ability. Sales is more about your attitude instead of your aptitude. And what I've done a lot of studying on is on EQ and IQ. EQ is more important than IQ. In fact, the number one skill needed today in the business world is people skills and emotional intelligence. That is critical. So what you see here is the flow of the process of sales. That's very generic, but it always starts with meeting someone. You might have a cold call. Those don't work too well. Last week I made, I think, 30 cold calls and 99% rejection rate. You think about all the emails you get every day of someone trying to sell you something. You just delete. Why? Because you don't know them, therefore you don't trust them. So what you have to do is meet someone through a referral network like today. And then from there what we do is we get into a discussion or a conversation about what they need. And once we know what they need, we get into presentation mode. You cannot go into presentation mode until you know what they need. And then you might have to handle objections, you might have to do some negotiations, and then hopefully we can close the sale. And then the most important thing in my opinion is customer service and ongoing support. So not only that you keep that customer, but you get more customers. It's 5 times harder to win over a new customer than to maintain an existing customer. So here's some typical sales behaviors that I've seen. Believe it or not, statistically, 75% of first sales calls never generate a second sales call. Why? Because the customer doesn't see value. Typically what happens though is most salespeople are focused on their products and services. And why not? They're excited about it. They believe in it. That's what they lead with. But that doesn't work. Because you have to lead with what's most important to your customer. So typically, generic questions and fact-finding, is the way they start out, and that's not really the way to start out. That's something that you sprinkle in as you go along. And that's typically the qualification process, what I call BANT, B-A-N-T. Budget, authority, needs, and then timing. And so I was a rookie salesperson, and I started my sales career in Birmingham, Alabama. That's where the accent's from. I don't think so. I'm from New York, and then I went to college at RPI in upstate New York. I migrated even further north to New Hampshire, and then I moved to another planet, Birmingham, Alabama. And it's like, are you kidding me? And it's like, my manager the first day said to me, don't just stand there, sell something. That's why I titled my first book that. And so I went out and he said, here are your customers, go call on them. I came back at the end of the day, he goes, how was your first day? I said, it was great. I met all my customers, we had a good time. He goes, what? You met all your customers? I said, yeah, you told me to. He goes, I meant over the next 3 months. I said, well, I'm from New York. When you say to do something, I just go and do it. And so, but that started a great relationship because he was the one who recruited me down to Birmingham. And I just fell in love with sales, and then from there I did sales training. Another point is that customers should be doing 2/3 of the talking. How do you get them to do the talking? You ask questions. Questions are, in my opinion, the one skill that great salespeople have is asking questions. Because it's not just about problem solving, it's about problem finding. You think about all the salespeople that you compete with. What sets you apart are the questions you ask so that you can find the customer the right solution that they need. You need to lead with need. That is the most important. Therefore, conversation comes before presentation. You have to build a strong and robust conversation. I was on a sales call with my next door neighbor who I used to work for when I came down here with Digital Equipment Corporation, so I sold computers. He was on a call with his partner. And his partner, they had an 1.5-hour call with the CEO of a major company in Baltimore. And I sat in behind the scenes. It was a Zoom call, so I could coach. The person who did the presentation is actually a marketing person. He talked for 1 hour and 10 minutes without stopping and never asked a question. Obviously, they lost the sale. But I'm in the background going, tell him to shut up. Really, that's what I was doing. I was texting my friend because he was in front of the computer as one of the partners. Finally, at an hour and 10 minutes, the customer says, what is the point you're trying to make here? And I knew it was all over. And it was all over, and they lost the sale, and they could have won the sale. So what you need to do is you need to let the customer talk, and you need to ask more questions. That is the best thing you could do. Facts tell, stories sell. Without a doubt. Here's my definition of selling. Selling is the transfer of emotions from one person to another. We buy emotionally, always, and we justify our decisions with logic. The right side of the brain buys, the left side of the brain returns. And the left side of the brain is the side of the brain that justifies the decision. Let me give you a quick story. This is out of the book Sales EQ, one of my favorite books, by Jeb Blount. And he starts out the book with a story, which is the way to start a book. And here's what he says. Joe is a salesperson, and he sells fleet trucking. He goes to visit Mr. Colazzi, who's the owner and founder of Colazzi Brothers Bakeries. He has 25 bakeries in the 3 towns around. And he goes in to see how his proposal looks. Joe goes in, Mr. Colazzi, how does our proposal look? Mr. Colazzi says, your price is too high. In fact, it's not even close. Joe's all dejected. He goes back to the office. His manager says, Joe, how'd you go with Mr. Colazzi? He goes, not good. He said our price is too high. Now, this is bakeries, and he's selling fleet trucking. The manager says, let's go back and visit Mr. Colazzi. Okay. So they go back to visit him, but before they leave, the manager takes a big brown paper bag, and he brings it with him. They get to see Mr. Colazzi. Mr. Colazzi greets him, and they sit down, and the manager says, Mr. Colazzi, I just want to see how a proposal looks. And Mr. Colazzi says, your price is too high, it's not even close. And the manager calmly gets up, takes the paper bag, flips it over, and out of the bag comes 2 loaves of bread. On the right side is a loaf of bread from Kroger, $3.99. On this side is a Colazzi Brothers Bakery loaf of bread for $8.99. The manager looks him in the face and he says, Mr. Colazzi, $3.99, $8.99, I gotta go with the Kroger. He goes, you can't do that, you have no idea what you're talking about. We have the best bakeries in town, our ovens are timed to perfection, we got the best ingredients, the highest quality, they're, GMO, the whole bit. And finally the manager says, that's what I've been trying to tell you, Mr. Colazzi. We're the Colazzi Brothers of fleet trucking. And he bows. See, it's all about value. And it's perception. It's all about the value you deliver. Think about this. Have you ever bought something that was very comparable to something else and it cost more? Of course you have, because you saw the value. Hey, if it was only about price, everybody in the world would be driving a Chevy Malibu instead of a BMW. I mean, why? There's $60,000 difference. But that is the emotional side of our brain. The brain craves simplicity. When my friend gave the hour and 10-minute presentation, it was so complicated. He had 100 slides, and on every slide there was 100 words. Drove me crazy. Like I said, we decide emotionally and we justify it with logic. And then I just told you a story, and I probably had your attention. Stories stimulate the right side of the brain, which is the emotional side of the brain, 3,000 times faster than the rational side of the brain, which is the neocortex left side. I tell stories all the time because stories are memorable, and that's what customers want to hear. So remember, it's more about your attitude than your aptitude. It's about EQ instead of IQ, and it's about likability more than ability. Ability helps, especially if you're in technical sales like I was, but you want to build a relationship with your customers more than anything else. So that's the psychology side. What I want to do is now give you a specific skill. And back in 1988, I had the privilege of going to Purcellville, West Virginia, to get certified in a course called Spin Selling. Has anybody heard of it? Very good. It's excellent. The book is out there by Neil Rackham, R-A-C-K-H-A-M, and it's called Spin Selling. And you can probably buy the book now, the soft cover, for $1.99, because I bought one, because my other one got ruined or something. But this is an excellent course. Like I said, the toughest problem that salespeople have is asking the right questions. That is it. So, I want to explain the characteristics of a simple sale versus a complex one. Simple sales are small dollars. An example, I go into Best Buy and I want to buy a TV. One and done. I either buy it or I don't. Will I come back? Possibly. So it's something that's affordable, or I can take out a quick finance program. There's minimal risk, because that salesperson is probably going to see 100 people that day. And they will sell a certain amount of TVs. Short sales cycle, like I said, it could be one and done. A larger volume of sales. And therefore, like I said, it's minimal risk when you're seeing customers all the time. And the customers are coming to you because it's a retail outlet. And there's only one or two decision makers. Me and my wife. And she is the decision maker. I just paid for it. But this is a simple sale. And a lot of us might be in this type of sales. But then, you know, and also the outcome is very simple. Sale or no sale. That's it. There's nothing else. But if you're in a more complex environment where you're selling complex solutions, it's very different. Here's how it's different. Bigger dollars, therefore bigger risk. Also, longer sales cycle. Could be 3 months, could be 6 months. I was working with a customer on a sale for 2 years. 2 years. And think about the risk if I didn't get it. I could lose my job. I've seen many people do that have lost their jobs. Complex solution, like I said, when I was selling computers, networking. Oh, the networking that was involved. And this is back many, many years ago. I sold computers in the mid-'80s when it was a total different animal. Today, you could live on a laptop. My phone has more memory in it than a mainframe did back then, and I was selling mainframes. Mainframes today are dinosaurs. Lower volume in the selling of the solution. You can't sell as many. And there are many decision makers. And with many decision makers comes what? Politics. And wow, is that tough. The toughest company I ever competed against was this little company called, and the initials were IBM, which stands for Itty Bitty Machines. Or we used to call it Inadequate Business in the Mid-South. You know, we had nicknames for IBM, but they beat me all the time. And I had the lower price. I had the better computer. And I believe that. And so did every other salesperson. But they won all the time. Why? Because they knew how to work with the CEO and the political network, and they focused on the business solution and not the hardware. And I'm going to show you an example of that here in a little while. There are 4 outcomes. Sale or no sale, but then there's 2 more, because it's an ongoing longer sales cycle. And what you see there is a continuation or an advance. You want to get an advance. An advance means that you're taking it to the next level. Maybe you're meeting another decision maker higher up. That's what you want. I was meeting with the VP of IT of a company down in Maitland, Florida for 3 months. And I would go down to Florida every 2 weeks to have lunch with them to talk about migrating from IBM to digital. And I met nobody else. I just met him every 2 weeks. And then he left the company. And I was dead in the water. And so what did I have there? A continuation. 90% of the time, the customer makes a decision, you're not there. So what do you have to do? The 10% of the time in a sales cycle that you're face-to-face with a customer, or even a Zoom call, you have to have the most impact possible. I was on a call a few weeks ago about training with a client, and I could tell after 5 minutes I wasn't going anywhere. And sure enough, I didn't get the business. You could just tell after some experience of doing that. They're not talking about value, they're talking about price. They're talking about what would you do here, here, and here, instead of here are the problems that we're having, and here's what we're trying to solving. You could tell. And so when they say go with your gut, go with your gut. Because your gut is hardwired to the brain. And emotions rule, remember that. So you have an advance versus a continuation. A continuation is unsuccessful, an advance is successful. So what I like to do at the end of every meeting, when can we meet again? Let's get our calendar out, because if you don't, you won't get the meeting. That's a promise. I had one customer that I finished the training, and I said, when's the next training? Well, let's do it in a month and a half, okay? Let's get our calendars. Well, I can't do it right now. Okay, well, I'll call you next week. You know what had happened? 9 months later. You know who the person was? My son. My son, who I see, every week. And maybe it's on a golf game or something, and I said, Kevin, when do you want to have that training? Yeah, we'll set it up soon. That's my son. Took 9 months. What a son. So 10% of the time, the outcome is order or no sale. 90% of the time, it's a continuation or an advance. So, the problem salespeople have is they start presenting their solution at the top when the needs are small. What IBM did was they would only start their presentation, and by the way, some of you are taking notes. If you want, Julie has the presentation. Just send it to anybody that wants it. That's fine. So, IBM was great at understanding the needs so well that they knew exactly what to present, and that's at the bottom, where your solution has the highest impact. So how do you get there? What are the questions you ask? That's what I want to share with you. First of all, there are 2 types of needs. Customers have 2 types of needs. The first one is an implied need, which is a statement of dissatisfaction. I want to lose 30 pounds. I've been saying that for 30 years, but I can live with it. Now, an explicit need is a clear want or desire on the part of the customer to take action. I need to lose 30 pounds, and I will. And so that's the difference. The problem is most salespeople present when they hear an implied need. What you need to do is ask the right questions to move it from an implied need to an explicit need. How do you do that? That's what I want to show you in the spin model. The first type of question is situation questions. Situation questions are facts about a current situation or a person. This is how most sales calls start out. Whoops, what did I do? Yeah. They give background information, details on whether there might be a problem that has existed. Or, so, who will be the decision maker? What type of solution is in place now? How long have you been looking? This is what I call the BANT, budget, authority, needs, and timing. When I went on the sales calls for 6 months with the senior sales rep in Birmingham, these are the only questions he asked. 6 months later, he was asked to leave the company. He never got a sale. Because when you start out with unemotional questions, it's like a doctor asking me why I have this problem. Well, what time does it hurt? When do you eat? That's like an interrogation. It doesn't work. These are asked by inexperienced salespeople, according to Neil Rackham. They ask too many of these. What successful salespeople do is ask problem questions. So I start out with maybe 2 situation questions just to get a dialogue going. And then you ask a problem question, the P in spin. It asks about the problems, the challenges that the customer has. Okay, it probes for an implied need. We have to get an implied need from the customer. For example, when it comes to this, what challenges are you facing? Very simple question to ask. Another one, what issues are you facing with so-and-so? Another one might be, what concerns do you have when it comes to this? These will bring out implied needs. And then they are asked more by successful salespeople. And not only that, remember I said that it's not just problem solving, it's problem finding, which is going deeper. Remember this, customers make decisions intrinsically. We hear the information and we decide for ourselves if this is the solution I want. The influence from the salesperson is just honesty, integrity, and likability. Do I trust you? Are you leading me down the right path? And if that's the case, there's a good chance that the sale will happen. But if you come in robotic, just asking questions, it's never going to work. So that's where, if you get the right conversation, that's where you have the leg up over your competition. And it's not just about problem solving, it becomes problem finding, where you might find a problem the customer has that they didn't realize they had. That is your added value. There was a study done that said that they asked customers, how many of you would pay a salesperson to come on a sales call? And the answer was like 5%. And then they said, how many of you think the salesperson should pay you to come on a sales call? And the answer was 35%. Think about that. Unfortunately, in the world of sales, customers have poor perception of a lot of salespeople because they think they're in it for themselves and to get a commission, and that's it. When I started out with Digital Equipment Corporation, we were the only sales force in the computer industry that did not get a commission. Because Ken Olson, the founder, was an engineer from MIT, and he didn't believe salespeople should have commissions. Now, that changed in 1986, but still 90% of it was salary, and then there were bonuses. So the perception of salespeople needs to improve all the time. So, problem questions. That is the best start. Next, though, comes what? The I. What is the I? Well, let me share a little story. I have a 2007 Lexus ES330. Actually, to be honest with you, it was a 2000 ES300. But this is an exercise I do in my classes. The car has 170,000 miles on it. Actually, it had 215. The car rides fine, but it's showing its age. The car is paid off, and I'm thinking about getting something newer. I don't see it as a big problem, even though I think about the car's age. So this is what I say to the class. I don't have a car payment. The car's running fine. Yeah, maybe there's a few problems. And then I tell them, convince me, ask me some questions. Remember, I internalize. That makes me consider it's better to get a new car now. So people start asking me, well, how often do you service the car? How much did you spend in maintenance last year? Well, I did, $3,600. I had to have some engine work done. Well, $3,600, isn't that a $300 a month car payment? Yeah, how's the car look? Well, I parked it in DFW in April, and lo and behold, there was a tornado, and I had pot marks all over it. Well, what's the perception of your customers when you pick them up to go out to lunch and they're looking at this hunk of junk? Not good. Usually I don't drive. I meet them wherever we're going, and I get there really early so they don't know what car I'm driving. That's what happens. And by the way, the console is ripped, the leather is ripped in the front. And 3 times when I went to DFW to take a flight, the car didn't start, so my wife had to drive me. And so then, one day, I decided to see a customer at the Blue Grouse or Goose restaurant up on the tollway. I'm driving up, and all of a sudden, thump, thump, thump. Oh no, I got a flat tire. I get out on the tollway, and I quickly look around the car. There's no flat tire. I don't know what's going on. So I'm driving, I get off at the restaurant, I'm hearing this thumping. I have lunch with my client, and I start driving home on Sam Rayburn. I live in Richardson, and I said, that's probably the best route. The thumping is getting so bad. I am getting nervous, so I get off the highway and I stop at the Marriott Courtyard in Allen. And I decide I'm going to take Glenville down and, wiggle around to Jupiter because I live right off of Jupiter. The thumping is getting so bad, I get to the railroad tracks at Jupiter, just north of Bush, and I hear an explosion. And my left front tire comes off like a missile, goes across Jupiter, missed cars, went right through the cars like a movie, and hits the side of a parked police car. The policeman very nicely takes the tire, puts it in his trunk, comes around to me, and I am stuck right past the railroad tracks without a tire. He says, "Here's your tire, I'm sorry that happened." I said, "Yeah, me too. What are you going to do?" I said, "Let me call Firestone, it's only 1.5 miles from here. That's where I had my tires rotated yesterday."
Oh, no.
And they forgot to tighten 2 lug nuts. And they fixed the car for free. And it was $5,000. And I'm still driving this hunk of junk. 2 months later, I'm driving up the tollway, thump, thump, thump. And I go, no. I get out, I look around, there is nothing wrong. I call a tow truck, Firestone. And they pick it up and they take it back to my house. When I got out of the car and looked around, now I knew what to look for. There were 2 sheared-off lug nuts on the front right tire. The frame of the car was bent. The next day, I drove the car very slowly to Luke Riley Honda on Central in Richardson and got myself a new Honda CR-V. So I tell you all this because a lot of customers are in the same position. Everything's working just fine, and I'm not paying any extra money. But at some point, they're going to run into a big problem. Our goal in the world of sales is to show them the problem is bigger than you think. And that is what we call the implication question. It is the most critical question to ask. So, when the customer says, well, we've had a real problem with our invoice system where we're sending out redundant orders. Well, how does that impact your supply chain? How does that impact customer satisfaction? How does that impact your profitability, your productivity? So, they're used to heighten the sense of urgency of the problem. They ask about the effects of the customer's problem. This is the type of questions that move the implied need to an explicit need. It extends the seriousness of the problem. And it links to other potential problems. That's where the problem finding comes in, not just the problem solving. So, like I said, problem solving versus finding. We tend to focus on just solving the problem the customer has. And when we help the customer discover new problems they didn't realize, we win them over. That's the key. Because we found something or helped them find something they didn't realize they had. And that is the consultative approach to sales that every customer wants in a salesperson. And then finally, to wrap it up, the end in spin is the need payoff question. It's the easiest question to ask. So when we take the customer from the implied need to the explicit need, all we've done so far is the implication questions. And when I was taking the training by Neil Rackham, he said, I need a simple way to show the difference between an implication question and a need payoff. And his son came by, who was 12 years old, and he's doing this brainstorming session with his team, and he goes, Dad, that's easy. Implication questions are sad face. Need payoff or happy face. So what do I mean by that? Need payoff questions helps desire the solution. It puts the attention on your solution, not on the problems. And it makes the customer tell you the benefits of the solution. Here's the most powerful question you can ask. After presenting to a customer and showing your solution, you can ask them, so what do you see as the benefits of this? Now you get the customer telling you the benefits of your solution. You're not telling them. How powerful is that? Well, let me share with you how powerful that is. Okay, because now the customer could sell it to upper management. Why? Because of this. Now, what is this? People retain 10% of what they read, 20% of what they hear, 30% of what they see. So you hear me speaking, you're retaining 20%. You're seeing a PowerPoint, that's 30. You are retaining 50% of what I'm saying and see. But people retain 70% of what they say. So when I ask the customer to tell me the benefits of my product, it goes from 20% to 70%. 3.5 times greater. And then the 90% is people retain 90% of what they say and do. For instance, you know, when I do this for fun in my classes, I'll go up to someone and say, hey, can you tell me what Pythagorean's theorem is from 10th grade geometry? And they go, what? Yeah, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Then I'll go up to someone else and I'll say, when was the last time you rode a bicycle? Oh, it was 10 years ago. If you got on a bike today, can you ride it? Of course I could. Why? Because you did it. See, it's in muscle memory. You don't forget how to ride a bike. Once you get up, you fall a few times. The first time you get up and you go, and you're going, and that's it. Same thing in sales. We learn through practice. We learn by asking the right questions. Hey, if you want better answers, ask better questions. And sales is like anything else. It's practice. And the more you practice, the better you get at it, the better you are at what I call thinking on your feet. So the need payoff question is the best one to ask because it highlights the benefits of your products and services. Here's some examples. How would a solution like this help you? Great question to ask. How might you benefit from this? How else could the system be of benefit to you? And what do you see as the benefits from this type of solution? Very simple to ask, but wow, will it get you what you're looking for. So the spin model I have found is a great way to go about, when I go on a sales call, I will develop 3 to 5 questions that I want to ask because I don't know what the other ones are until I hear from the customer. This I can tell you is that 2 types of questions are why and what. Why questions focus on the past and the problems. Why do you think that happens? What questions focus on the future and the solution. What are your goals? What are your aspirations? And then, of course, we ask the how question. And when I do cold calling, I would ask, you know, I would say, we have a system that could do so-and-so. Would you like to see how it works? Because it's very unique. And that goes a long way. So, that is the model. Now, for a couple of other things. Getting to the explicit need is asking the spin model. You will get the explicit need. And then there's something called FAB. Features, advantages, and benefits. Features are just the characteristics of a product or a service. Features tell, and benefits sell. Features do not sell. Advantages describe the way a feature could help the customer. Benefits describes the way in which features or advantages meet the customer's explicit needs. This will make the difference. Customers want to hear benefits. So what happens when we go through, when a salesperson goes through features, advantages, and benefits, here's the salesperson's behavior, here's the customer's response. If it's a feature, price concerns come up. If it's an advantage, you'll get objections. And I'll show you how to handle objections in the last slide. And finally, benefits will support the customer and you will gain approval. We want to focus on benefits, but benefits are based on what the customer needs, not what you need to sell. It's what the customer truly needs. So here's an example I use in my classes. This is a Casio watch. I got it at Target, back in 1991, and it cost $29.99. And I would ask the class, so what do you see as some of the features on this watch? It's black. It's got a timer. It tells you the date. It tells you the day of the month. It glows in the dark, so when I get up in the middle of the night, I can just click on it and I can see what time it is. You know, it's water resistant, so I could go in the shower with it or go swimming with it. These are all the features that I used to sell when I sold computers at Digital. Speeds and feeds. It's got 128 KB floppy disk. And you know, I'm going back and forth with features, and I'm losing to IBM all the time. And you know, then finally I'll say, it's $29.95. Well, do you have anything without these 4 features for $19.95? No, it's all bundled together. See, this is how I used to sell, and it didn't work. How did IBM used to sell? And they still do. Here's how IBM sells. I mean, you're not going to ask, well, is that the day of the month? Oh yeah. Do you really care how much it costs? You know it's at least $7,000. It doesn't matter. These are the type of solutions that customers are looking for. Not this type. They're not looking for this and that and this and that, unless they're buying a commodity. And if I'm buying a commodity, I could buy it on Amazon. I love shopping at Amazon like all of you. Every day a box comes to my house, sometimes 3 to 4 boxes a day. And I'll say to my wife, is that for me or for you? I don't know, why don't you go see? You know, because the Ring doorbell says, there they come again. And she goes, I don't know what it is, but I know it's free shipping. So that's the way it goes. So this is the way we need to sell. Typically what happens, we uncover an implied need. We talk about the advantages, we get objections, we tend to alleviate, and we start all over again. The way we should do it, uncover an implied need, ask implication and need payoff questions, we get the explicit need, we reiterate the benefits, and we gain support to move forward. And finally, handling objections. You know, you've heard of, AA, you've heard of AAA, and this is the 4As. When you get an objection, your price is too high, you acknowledge, I understand, I'm not agreeing, I'm understanding. Then I'll ask the question, why do you think the price is too high? What are you comparing it to? Then I'll address their objection, and then finally I'm going to ask for acceptance. Would you agree with me? And if they say yes, it's alleviated. If they say no, I'm going to go back and ask another question. I'll address that, and then I'll ask for agreement. And that is what I wanted to share today. Thank you.
Thank you so much for
Yeah.
the presentation.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I'm gonna take one more.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. That was wonderful. All right. Let's see. We are kind of just at time here. We do have, does anyone have any quick, yeah, we probably don't have time for announcements. All right. Real quick, we do have one drawing item. Does someone have that red bucket?
Yeah,
Oh, she does. Okay, great. She's just doing a few more rounds, and then she didn't get a card in. Well, we appreciate that information. If anyone does have any, questions or anything, like you said, I do have the presentation and anything, and if you want to funnel anything through me, just send me an email. We have one, do you have a question?
Hi, Mr. Schlackman.
Yeah.
How do you go about getting the appointment with the potential customer?
Yeah, you need to focus on them. And you want to talk about nothing but value. The way I like to start out a call is say, hi, Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so, my name is Stu Schlackman with so-and-so. Have you heard of us? Whether they say yes or no, I'm going to say the exact same thing. Well, we're a company that provides this, this, and this for customers, and some of our best customers have seen a result of 30% increase in so-and-so. I give value. The reason I'm specifically calling you today, I use the word specific. It's like you're the only person I'm calling today, is that I would like to show you how we were able to do that for our customers. Everybody's interested in the how. And then I would try to set up the appointment. Typically, you will get voicemail 90% of the time. Voicemail should be left between 16 and 20 seconds long. Give a piece of value, ask them to return the call. And that's typically how you get a return call. Yeah?
What about the, which is more effective, the phone call solicitation or in person?
In person if possible, absolutely. Because there's a connection there. There's an emotional connection. There's no emotional connection on the phone. Even on Zoom calls, the emotional connection is far away. It's just psychologically it's far away. I'd much rather be in person with someone. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we have two drawings, two winners.
This is from Luke Chahan from the Hawaiian Fluid Arts, and this goes to Kaylin. You're starting to win as much as Bobby. And then Dr. Gill from Countryside Smiles. It's a teeth whitening kit worth $125, and that goes to Sandy Gardner.
All right, well, thank you everyone for attending today. We hope you enjoyed the program. If you feel free to stick around and network with each other and have a little bit of coffee and anything that's left. We got a few more things left here. And we'll see you next week. And don't forget, ribbon cutting at noon, pizza twist, left back there. This airplane, like, I have when I go inside. Oh, I know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, boroughs, most of the salespeople, when I moved to Birmingham, 3 of the reps in the office came from boroughs that last 6 months. And one of them that got fired was from boroughs. Yeah, oh, that's great.
When you're a girl dad.
Oh, yeah. Brian's great.
That's all right with me too.
Yeah. So, nice to meet you. Yeah, I got out of it in 2004. My last company was a computer service company. Before that, I had a beautiful 10-month career with EDS.
You know, John's wife.
Worst job I ever had in my life. Yep. It was in the Plano. And that's when they went, the stock went from 70 to 2. What about after that? Yeah, well, thanks, John. Yeah. All right. Oh, good school. Yeah.
Hey, great to have you here. Yeah. Appreciate you. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stands out.
I had to go to a 2-week school on how to compete against IBM. That's how great they were. We got the job all the time. They were great. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Everything's yeah. Excellent. Very good, thanks. Hey, you bet, thanks.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I'd like to try it. Like, remember, put it in my car. I'm like, that's what I'm doing it right now. So if I'm happy to be in the area, I think
Thank you. Excellent. Thank you. You too. Take care.
Is that why you got it?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we'll see it when you're.
What I do is go into depth in a workshop. And I started out with real estate and insurance. They're the two best industries for my personality model. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And when I do it, for instance, Collin County Association of Realtors, I'm doing their leadership program April 11th, for the 16th year in a row. Yeah. And I did my last book, Relationship Selling Secret. Whenever I do a workshop, everybody gets a copy. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Same. I was going to ask if I could take a picture.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
I was going to steal from you.
Yeah. Okay. Is it Sammy? Huh? Okay. I like the way it's spelled. I love it. Yeah. Thank you. Okay.
I got like I wasn't planning on staying for it, but once I started talking, I'm like, I'm not going to worry about I have a really good business card. I was just
12-minute drive.
yeah,
I know.
next Thursday, and I can be
About 16 years ago.
yes, I have like, the idea is that they were buying.
So that was 11 years ago.
Get out of $100 and then they sell it
Good for you. That's great. Okay, Mary Pat, thank you. Thanks, Julie.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. I've already got people requesting.
I'm from New Jersey, so it was really nice to hear the accent. New York, New Jersey. Wait, no. You got to be kidding me. Sorry.
Yeah.
You got to be kidding me.
I went to Long Beach High School.
My mom, she grew up in Long Beach.
What's her name?
Jacqueline is the last name. Oh my gosh. She's 7. But we have younger siblings. Cal, Diane, Jacqueline. Cal is actually a couple years older than me.
Name sounds familiar. So
My
Billy Crystal went to.
Yes, Billy Crystal.
He was 4 years ahead of me. 3 to 4 years ahead. Yeah. I'm from Long Beach. Lived in Lido.
Yeah. Okay, so my grandfather, senior, he was a builder. He built property all over Long Beach.
So my best friend, who I